top 10 is composed of sequels and big tentpole blockbusters, films which have become safe bets for studios and cinemas looking to get as many bums back in seats and to bounce back after the existential threat the COVID pandemic posed to the industry. There we have it. While there are some decent films in the top 10, none of them made it to our best films of 2022, neither at the halfway mark or at the end of the year. Another Chinese film rounds off the top 10, this time a sci-fi comedy that tells the story of Du Guiyu, who, after being left unexpectedly on the moon, becomes the last person in existence when an asteroid destroys the Earth. This Chinese war film and sequel to last year's The Battle at Lake Changjin commemorates the 100th anniversary of the Chinese Communist Party and is based on the historical fighting at Funchalen Pass during the Battle of Chosin Reservoir in the Korean War. This fourth solo MCU adventure for Thor was the worst offender this year for Marvel. And a surprising misfire, considering Taika Waititi was behind the camera once more after delivering what many felt was the perfect Thor film with 2017's Thor: Ragnarok. The jokes were naff, the stakes were non-existent, and the imagination and charm were nowhere to be found. Everyone went nuts for the inexplicably overrated Matt Reeves' Robert Pattinson iteration of The Dark Knight. However, look closely enough, which, granted, isn't easy considering the tiresome stylistic trend that states that if things are serious, then the screen has to be as dark as possible, and it's an overlong and narratively creaky Chinatown, David Fincher rip-off with little to no soul of its own. And while there's nothing wrong about referencing past films, if you ape Fincher, you had better come correct. If there was one redeeming film in this year's MCU offering, it was Ryan Coogler's unwieldy but powerful sequel to the cultural juggernaut that was Black Panther. It worked best when embracing its main thematic thrust about the agony of loss and reckoning with legacy, referencing the untimely death of its lead star, the much-missed Chadwick Boseman. It's undeniable that focus was the main issue in this frequently muddled offering that simply tried to incorporate too much, but it did serve as a reminder to studios that the key to success resides less in explosions and extended universes, and more in emotions. As of writing, James Cameron's costly Avatar sequel is in 5th place, with global ticket sales since its 16th of December release tallying $889 million. It had the 11th biggest global opening of all time and the 3rd biggest global opening for a film in the pandemic era behind Spider-Man: No Way Home and the aforementioned Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, earning $441.7 million in its first week. Furthermore, with the release of The Way of Water, Disney led the studios in worldwide box office grosses and crossed the $4 billion mark for the 8th year. Estimates put it as being on course to make double this over the course of the next month, which would see the film soar to 2nd place. Mini Boss goes to San Papisco. Flawed and not as charming as previous installments, this still yielded some decent laughs. The Minions are just getting started. Marvel fans were disappointed, to say the least, with the MCU's Phase 4 and its overdose of TV shows and middling releases, leading even the staunchest of fans to admit that superhero fatigue was seriously kicking in this year. And Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was partly responsible for this feeling. A trippy installment from horror maestro Sam Raimi, the Evil Dead franchise, dragged me to hell. That wasn't strange, mad or multiverse-why enough. Worse, it ruined what the series WandaVision had established with regards to the character of Wanda aka the Scarlet Witch. Less praise for the final installment of the Jurassic World saga, which did exceptionally well this year. The Jurassic Park franchise became the 10th film franchise to gross $6 billion with the release of Jurassic World Dominion. However, it remained a cynical, narratively barren cash grab with no soul and made you want to scream. Why did you come back, Laura Dern? You deserve so much better. It's depressing seeing how well this embarrassment of a film did, and considering Dominion became the 50th film to gross $1 billion worldwide, you can bet that the bean counters will ensure that we're not done with the dinosaurs just yet. The critically acclaimed legacy sequel to Tony Scott's 1986 classic made the world re-enter the danger zone. Its success could be attributed to several factors. The fact that Tom Cruise is Hollywood's last of the old-school A-listers and still box office Viagra. That the belated nature of the sequel rhymed with curious spectators hungry to see a beloved character on screen once more. Or simply because audiences crave a good old-fashioned and exquisitely made action movie.